Just watched the Bulls lose again to Miami. Trash ass play-in tournament. How do you feel? How do you feel about the play-in tournament?
I mean, I get it. I mean, there are some benefits. Like it kind of helps. It kind of like eliminates the idea of tanking. It makes like games more meaningful. I think towards the end of the season because teams are like we saw this past weekend with Golden State and the Clippers. Teams are was trying to fight to get a playoff spot locked in. They don't want to have to play an extra game. And get and instead get more rest, especially for the older players and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's more money for the league too. So
Oh yeah,
but at the same
100%.
time, there's be some bad games like what we're seeing right now, like what we saw with the Bulls and the Heat and everything, and what we're seeing right now with the Clippers and the Mavs. Is like, do we really gotta watch this? So
Oh,
I
you mean the
mean,
Kings and Mavs?
sorry. Oh yeah, the Kings and the Mavs to the Clippers. So it's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? But it is what it is.
To all those who are new, and to all those who are current, this is Sports Talk with DesPain. I am your host, DesPain. I got my guest host, Mr. Vincent himself of the Mr. Vincent podcast,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vincent, and what else you got? The other stuff, the 360
The
photography,
photography.
the
Yeah,
newsletter,
yeah. I'm also working on trying to
everything.
buy. I'm trying to get a regular photo booth too instead of the 360 joint. So I'm trying to do everything,
Let's
man.
go. Let's go. Grind. I hear
Yeah,
that. I fucks with that. But yeah, if you're new to this, you know that we always annually talk about basketball around this time of year. The season has concluded, obviously. The playoffs is officially starting on the 19th, but we have play-in tournament. But the season ended recently. For those who missed it, or if you've been living under a rock, most people be acting like they live under a rock these days. Oh, I didn't know that was happening. Yeah, right. Everybody got a fucking smartphone. You get an ESPN ticker every fucking day about some shit. Don't try to catch me off guard on I'm some type of junkie on this shit. Like I know for a fact a lot of y'all people definitely know what's going on, so don't be acting crazy. But the season ended. Yesterday was Orlando who hosted Atlanta Hawks, and they won, and they got the seventh seed. They're playing this Boston Celtics on Sunday. Before we get too in depth, how did you feel about how the season ended this year for the NBA? And what was like one of the biggest headline stories for the whole season for you?
I thought it was pretty solid ending. I think typical what happens. A lot of people complain about the league being too long. You're betting with the NFL early on, college football. People don't think the season really starts until post All Star break and everything, and that's usually when the best basketball is being played. When teams are like really in a rhythm now, they're trying to go hard to get to the finish line and secure a playoff spot and everything. So you see the most competitive
Hmm.
basketball around this time of the year. So I thought it was right on time this season again. The biggest headline of the year, man, it has to be Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers,
Man, listen.
which was still the most ridiculous trade in the history of the basketball. I will stand on that. But hey, I'm a Lakers fan, so it worked out for us now. We're in number 3 seed, and we got a good chance to get back to the finals and maybe even win it. Who knows? So I think that was the biggest thing that I've seen this season. Like a trade that I would never think about. I thought it was fake when it happened, and it was real. And you hear all these things coming out. Like even like recently, the other day when the Nico Harrison had the meeting with the media, but no cameras, no audio recordings allowed. And like, come on, man, like what are we doing here? So and having that meeting, like it wasn't like the season's not even over yet. It's like that's like you do that postseason interview, like exit
Hmm.
interviews, and they had that while they're in the playoff, while they're in the playing contest. So it's a little ridiculous, man. It's
It's like
just
they're already conceded.
a season from hell for the Mavs fans. But if you're a Lakers fan, you were ecstatic because your team's relevant again, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the season, I thought the NBA season was, like you said, it ended very well. Because I think mostly because the West was like really the Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? There was you didn't what
Outside
was
of
it the
outside of OKC, everybody was like bunched up together.
yeah, because what was it like 4 through 8 or 4 through 9? Yeah, 4 through 8 wasn't solidified until the last day of the season or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
Fluke. It was
there
solidified.
was no clinch then. Okay, yeah. So because the Lakers had clinched like the night before, 2 nights before that for the third seed, and Houston had already clinched. But yeah, I think one of the biggest storylines I think was obviously the Luka trade. I thought that was I remember when it happened too because I woke up and I think we talked after the trade happened, but I remember waking up and then I see a ticker on my phone. First, I saw it started off with Anthony Davis. I don't even know how it happened with just starting with Anthony Davis. Then you see Luka Doncic, and you're like, wait a minute, they did what? I mean, and usually those are the type of trades you see off season. You don't really see those like a few days before the trade deadline. Like that was insane. But I think another, dope headline was like the Thunder. Like I think they went under the radar. Like how much of a dynastic run they went on. I think people just don't. I think you know what it is nowadays. We love greatness, but we don't appreciate greatness. You feel me? Like it goes down, and when I say this, I think it means in every subject when it comes to sports, especially basketball. Nobody appreciates great basketball players anymore. I don't think so. Because we always looking for a reason why they're not great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's so fixated on what makes Tatum not this super duper star instead of saying, hey, he's great. He's one of the great young superstars in our league. Or people will focus on Luka Doncic gaining weight and not realize he just dropped 40 on somebody's head. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll talk about LeBron as if he was some scrub. He got 4 championships. What do you want from the man? Like he got 4 out of 10. There's some people who got 0 out of 5 out there. You know what I'm saying? Or 0 out of 3. And we're talking about, oh my God, I loved watching him when he was. People are still Allen Iverson fans. He got no chips, nothing. He got nada. Just one MVP he could live off of. But I love Allen Iverson. I do, because I appreciated him. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on that. You feel me? Tracy McGrady never been to a championship, and he's a Hall of Famer. But everybody will never talk bad about Tracy MGrady. But when you
I mean,
take that,
he did play in the finals, but he was Washington playing in the finals. So
right,
he
for
was
the
on the
Spurs,
Spurs
right?
team. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When they
trying
lost
to
to the
chase the
Heat.
chip. Trying to chase the chip. You know what I'm saying? Like when Kobe was alive before he retired, before he ended his career in a very humble way, it came very, very much humble because he just looked like old man Kobe. Everybody was like, just let him get his shots, man. Let him do his thing. Before that, people were ready to like, if he didn't win those 2 chips and go three finals in a row and win 2 chips, people were having crazy conversations about him. You know what I'm saying? And there's probably people out there talking about, oh, Shaq wouldn't have one without Kobe or without Dwayne Wade or, so I think we just don't appreciate greatness. And NBA is part of it. It's all sports as well, but NBA is like the worst debates I ever see are coming from the NBA fans. And you know what I'm talking about. We be in that sit and talk, you know what I'm saying, Facebook shit. Them niggas be saying the craziest things I ever seen and heard. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are you? The other day I saw somebody like post like the 3 best white basketball players right now. And they
Oh,
put Austin.
I think talk about the Americans. I think the 3 best American white players.
Yeah, they were like Austin Reed. No, oh, they was like, I think it was start, bench, and cut, or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
And they
start
had
back cut. It was with Pritchard,
Pritchard,
Hero,
Hero,
and Reeves. I
and
think.
Reeves. And I was sitting there like people were really like saying, Pritchard's better than all them bumps. I'm like, what? He won a chip? Oh no, way. Y'all are off. I can't believe that. Austin Reeves is an undrafted basketball player who's averaging damn near 20 a game. And he should be most improved. He should be in the most improved player conversation this year.
Absolutely.
Not no Cade Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that soon. Same thing with Hero. Most improved. And I think he was in that conversation, I think, a couple seasons ago or last year.
I
But he
think it was
was
last
also
year.
six man and he was also 6 man a year. He also got rookie of the year considerations, or maybe he did. I forget if he won it or not. And today he was 38. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't deny, you can't talk shit about a white boy who got a fade. I'm just saying. He goes to his barber and say, "Yo, I need whatever that man next to me got. Fade me up, dog." But yeah, I think it's just like the season gets boring because people just don't want to talk about dope conversation. They want to look for reasons to not like somebody, to not give somebody their flowers, to not like appreciate it. With all that, what I'm saying is, I have a couple questions for you before we move on to the important stuff. Do you think what's not even a couple questions? My only question for you is this: what is the most exaggerated topic s- in this whole season? The hatred for Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic's work ethic to be in game shape?
It's gotta be. You said the most exaggerated.
Correct.
It's got to be the Luka not being like in shape. I feel like quote unquote not being in shape, not being a guy who could who can lead a team, who's committed to the grind and everything, and just crazy. What's the word I'm looking for? Crazy hyperbole there with Nico and Mavs ownership. I mean, hey, if that guy is quote unquote out of shape and can lead you to the finals when leading the playoffs and points, rebounds, and assists in the process to get into a finals, being at by 25, what he did 2 conference finals and the NBA finals. Hey, sign me up all day. I want to do what he's doing because obviously what he's doing is working.
Right. I agree with you. That's to me is the same thing. Like a lot of Boston fans. I know they're gonna protect Jason Tatum till he leaves Boston. I get it. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I'm someone who used to be on that kind of, time when it comes to certain athletes on teams I like. But then I grew up a little bit and realized it's not like there's no loyalty. I don't need to be loyal to these players. These players are not loyal to the teams, and these teams are not loyal to the players either. So I'm loyal to the passion I have for whichever team I like. I'm not gonna lose my. I'm not a die. I'm not gonna say I don't fit the definition of diehard because diehards will risk it all. You know what I'm saying? Like a Philadelphia Eagles fan is a diehard. They'll risk it all. You know what I'm saying? They'll say the wild. If you're willing to go online and say some wild shit to risk your job, you're a diehard. You know what I'm saying? I am not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I love the Celtics, but I don't have green glasses on. I love the Packers, but I'm not gonna sit here and you know, call Jordan Love the top 5 quarterback. I'm not that delusional. I love the Red Sox, but I will talk shit about the Red Sox until they win another World Series. And even if they won one last year, I would still talk shit about them because I'm never satisfied. I'm a not satisfied fan till I die. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I live. That makes me enjoy the sports. To enjoy sports, you can't be satisfied, bro. You can't. But doesn't mean you can't appreciate people or appreciate these athletes. Because the reason why you're watching is because the athletes, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for that. It's not because of the franchise. The franchise is always going to be there. It's the freaking athlete that brought you. Whatever made you a Laker fan is why you're a Laker fan. It's not because of the Lakers. It's because of Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Celtics fan because of when I was growing up, I liked watching Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker. I like that. I love the tradition. Whatever. Packers, it was, bitch ass Brett Favre before he became a douchebag. You know what I'm saying? Like Red Sox, I was a big on page for my team. It's like the players are the reason why you go there. You feel me? It's just a plus if it's in your hometown. But yeah, I think that like the Luka thing was so exaggerated to me more than the Jason Tatum thing. Because the Jason Tatum thing is just a narrative on its own. It's gonna carry on forever until the old heads retire from the NBA. Because it's not gonna go away until those old heads leave. What were you gonna say?
So are you like in that camp that like Tatum has something to kind of like I don't want to say he has something to prove that you want to see something out of him in a sense like he wins a championship, gets crowned
Mhm.
the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, crowned the Finals MVP. Is that something that you want to see for him this season? Like, do you think that he has to do that for you this season?
For himself, for me, I don't. I mean, until Jalen Brown decides he wants to leave Boston, if he ever, he's always gonna. It's always gonna be that kind of comp. He's not gonna. He's gonna be greater than Jalen Brown, like statistically. But as long as that man is on your team, he's not really Scottie Pippen, bro. Scottie Pippen was Scottie Pippen. We know that. He ain't Scottie Pippen. When Shaq and Kobe were together, we knew that it was Shaq's show, but Kobe was showing out when it mattered most in the finals. So eventually people started to realize, you know what? Kobe kind of is that guy, man. Like he's a young kid, 21 years old. He's kind of that guy. You know what I'm saying? When Duncan was running the show, nobody was talking about no Ginobili and Tony Parker. They knew they were great though. You know what I'm saying? But Duncan didn't have to always worry about them. Tatum has to worry about Jalen Brown. Jaylen Brown is an all NBA guy all the time, most of the time. All-star player. You know what I'm saying? He's got the hardware too. And he answers to no one. He doesn't need to have a Jordan campaign. He doesn't need he doesn't need the commercials. People know his name without the commercials. You feel me?
Yeah.
So until that's going to be for Jason Tatum to figure out for himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think his legacy is on the line ever. Like you're doing great things. You went to Duke, won a championship on one of the most illustrious franchises of all time. You're breaking records. You're a great scorer. You're getting better.
He has gold medals on his resume, so he's going to be a
Gold
first ballot Hall of
medals.
Famer when he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. So he has everything. It's just up to him. Do you want to let it get to your head? Because where it gets scary. If he lets that get to his head, then the pressure's on him. He's gonna have a lot of pressure this postseason because now he's gonna press. And now with Jaylen Brown actually being kind of hampered with that knee,
Oh
people are
yeah,
gonna
I seen
really
that.
look at you like, oh, you might have to really step up now, my brother. You feel me? So I have no expectations for him to over exceed his expectations, but I do. That would be the only thing I would worry about the Celtics, if there was any worry whatsoever, is how if he starts playing go to hell ball. You know what I'm saying? Like that team is way too damn talented for him to take over by himself and go ISO ball on people. So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and we've seen the evolution as a playmaker and everything. So I don't think he
Hmm.
would like try to do that. He would try to do what's best for the
Right.
team and everything and make the right play.
Exactly. So I mean, but yeah, his narrative is the most not as exaggerated as the Luka stuff. The Luka stuff is just so ridiculous to me because I think it's just the Dallas ownership and the fans that are pro other players want to prove a point, and it's like the dude leads all NBA. He's an all-time leader in points per game in the playoffs.
How about
He was.
number two behind Mike? Behind Mike. But hey, if
Is
you're behind Mike in that category, that's crazy.
you sure? I just looked at it. I thought it.
Oh,
I
I'm
think.
positive. Yeah,
Okay.
Mike's number
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Luka's number two.
Not by a lot though. It
Not
ain't
by
by
a
a
lot,
lot
but
though.
like, nah, it's not by a
Oh, okay,
lot.
okay. But he's up there.
He's
He's
up
up
there,
there.
number two behind Michael Jordan. If you're behind
Yeah,
Michael Jordan in any category,
exactly.
like what are we
All
talking
in
about?
first team All NBA 4 of the first
Five times.
5 years, 5 times. You see what I'm
So,
talking
so,
about?
so
Like,
he didn't make it his rookie year. He's not going to make it this year, only because of injuries. So he would have had six if it wasn't hurt this year.
yep. And then he's just a scoring machine. It took him a while to get comfortable with the Lakers and the nagging aches and pains he was going through, but he looks like he's locked in finally. And I'm impressed by the kid. I don't care what kind of people be talking. The same people be talking about him in his conditioning. They can't even go up and down a basketball court right now to play basketball. To all those who want to have something to say about how an athlete should be looking like to you while you're watching them on TV, I think you might want to take it easy right there with all that. But anyways, like I mentioned, the playoffs is on and popping right now. We basically know all the seedings for the playoffs. And I'm gonna quickly go through them, but I'm also gonna ask you which of the matchups are you most excited to see? Give me 1 second. So we have the Celtics are going to be hosting Orlando, and then we have the Knicks hosting Detroit Pistons, and then we have a rematch of the Pacers and the Bucks in the East. We don't know who the eighth seeds are on each conference yet till Friday, I believe.
Friday.
So
Yeah, Friday.
yeah, we'll know by Friday. I don't think it's gonna matter. Whichever team makes it AFC, they're gonna get cracked. I think, in my opinion, it's probably gonna be a sweep. In the
I think
West,
both conferences should go no more than 5 games, one an eight seed. So
yeah,
Thunder, Cavs, they shouldn't go no more than 5 games in the first round.
I agree. Houston's gonna be hosting Golden State Warriors, which is kind of
Ooh, that's gonna
fucking
be fun.
insane. The Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves, which that's a very good one too. I'm excited to watch that as well. And then we have Clippers. Who the Clippers playing?
Nuggets.
Clippers Nuggets. Out of all those matchups I just mentioned, which is I know you already reacted to the Rockets Warriors. Which of those matchups are you most excited to see?
Well, actually, I'm excited the most to see the. I was talking to Shells earlier today. I was texting them. Looking for the Clippers and Nuggets, man. I think that's gonna be the best series in the first round. That can go anyway. I see that being a 6, 7 game series. You mean you got the Clippers who are playing like one of the. I think the best record the last 18 games in the season. Kawhi is looking like 2019 Kawhi when he was arguably the best player in the league. I mean, I think it was still LeBron, but he was in the conversation at least. He's looking
Yeah.
like that James Harden resurgence, looking like an all-star. Well, he wasn't all-star this year. He might be all NBA this year. Who knows? Might win one of the
Yeah.
teams. And then, of course, on the other side, you got Nikola Jokic, the best player in the league. A lot of people's eyes, the league MVP for the season. But his team is not playing up to the standard that they should be with having a guy that good on their roster. Just got rid of their
Hmm.
coach like last week. Weak bench, a
I
lot
didn't
of
even
young
get
role
to that.
players.
Wow, I forgot all. Yo,
It's been a long season,
what,
man.
bruh? Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So, like, yeah, in that team, obviously, they still got some championship pieces, but the depth they lack and all the inexperience with the young guys they got at the bench. So it's gonna be good to see how those teams battle it out and everything and how that plays out. Also, I'm looking forward to that series because I can make a great case for the Nuggets winning. I can make a great case for the Clippers winning. So I can't even call it yet. I'll make my pick on Friday. What that's gonna win?
Word. Yeah, I'm more. I think I'm excited to see that that Warriors Houston. It's one of those like I don't know how to explain it. That Houston team. I don't know who they remind me of, man. It's just whatever they got going on over there. It looks good. You know what I'm saying? They really got a through 1 through 10. They could literally rotate their five with another five, and they could still look the same. Jalen Green has matured for a young play for a very young player. What is he like? 22,
Probably he came in the league.
22, 23?
Yeah,
He's
I
like
think he came the same year as Cade, so probably like a third year,
yeah, he's
fourth year,
23 at
fourth
least.
year.
At
Yeah.
the oldest he could be is 23 in my opinion. I
Well,
think
actually,
not in my opinion.
let me just verify that right now.
Right.
See how old he
So
is.
they got a good balance. Like I saw somebody talking about the fact that they have no experience and this, that, and third. I'm like, man, you got Dylan Brooks who's been to has playoff opportunity, has been in the playoffs. They got Uncle Jeff off the bench. You know what I'm saying? That's a good person to be around. He's like their Al Horford without getting all the minutes, obviously, because why would you give him minutes? You know what I'm saying? Those young bulls are much better talented, much more talented players. And then you have Steven Adams. Like they got some guys who've been there before, or Van Vliet. You know what I'm saying? People forgot Van Vliet was actually part of a championship roster. He was a starting point guard for that championship. No, he was a backup point guard, excuse me. He was a six man
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because
of
Kyle Lowry
that
started.
team.
Yeah, I have to
Correct.
remember that. Yeah, he just. But he
Yes.
was very instrumental. He very hit some big shots and everything. So
He was big for that finals. I'm excited to see that, but Golden State, when they don't turn over the ball, sometimes they get in some weird habits and they do that because they're a small team and they could get bullied around. But Golden State, when they're on, I don't know if anybody could beat them. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, OKC could beat them, obviously, but everybody else besides OKC is gonna have trouble against Golden State if they can make it out of there. And that'll probably be the only series I can see an upset happening or going the distance in the first round. So, because you can't count out
yeah, I mean,
Steph Curry. You can't.
yeah, that's a good series, man. Because you got the whole storyline too with the Draymond and Dylan Brooks and everything and their history. Two
Yeah,
guys who
yeah,
like to
yeah,
be physical, like to be agitators and everything. So
yeah,
that's going to be
yeah.
interesting.
Oh
And
yeah,
then, I mean, we saw what they did to Steph a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago when they played. Steph was like, what, that 3 points, I think, in the game?
he had
He was
three
just getting
points.
harassed by Thompson and all them and
Yeah,
everybody in the perimeter was just hounding him. So they can make it ugly. I think they can make it ugly. If I had to pick, I will lean with the Warriors just because the experience. I know they're
yeah,
old in age, like I said, Draymond, Jimmy buckets and everything. They are coming in a little injured too, whatever. Like Steph with a hand injury, and I think at the quad injury, there's Jimmy got. So that's gonna be something to take a look at. But yeah, I would probably ride with them because of the experience. I just can't see that team, that Houston team. Even though I love what they're doing, I love what Ime is doing. They take on his personality and they just play all. They play like piranhas on the floor and everything. So
hmm
I just can't see them. I don't think they've done enough yet to propel to the next stage. And I don't know if they have enough scoring power to last with Golden State. Although they can take advantage of them in the inside. I mean, we see Edie just had like 17 rebounds and they're playing again against the Warriors.
yeah,
So Sengun and them and Steven Adams and them can take advantage of them in the interior as well.
yeah.
So
Well, if that's
that's
all,
going to be
with
a
all
good
that being said,
matchup too.
Sangoon has to not be like Sangoon is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. I love his game, but he shows flashes of like like not immature, like a young player sometimes. He'll be like trying to make flashy plays, and it's like it looks ugly when you do it, brother. Just stick to what you do. I know you could pass, but don't be passing like that. Just a simple, chest pass, my brother. Like you're doing too much. You can't do that against teams that have championship experience. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how that series goes. I think it's gonna go the distance. But Is it too soon to make predictions of who's winning these series, or we have to just wait and see?
Not too soon. I'm leaning with Golden State. Said I think I told Shells I was talking to. I said Golden State in six. I'll probably pick Golden State in six today.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, we'll start there. I'll go with Golden State in six as well. I don't see why not. The only thing is like maybe game one will be a tough one for them to win because they'll be in the road. They just played in the play-in. I mean, they still got an ample amount of time to rest because the game ain't
Yeah,
till what? So
I forget what day they play. It's either Saturday or Sunday.
yeah, so they'll be
Probably
fine.
Sunday.
Yeah, the Steph's thumb will be okay. They'll.
Jalen Green turned 23 in February, so he's 23.
So he's 23. Okay. Yeah, and I've watched a few Houston games this year, and I didn't, maybe because I never really paid attention to him. I probably thought he was some type of immature player. He is. He actually has taken the role of leading that squad, and I'm sure he's been very close. I think last year he was in that doghouse a few times for Ime, but this year he's definitely has locked in, he's focused, and he's been balling up. So, but yeah, Warriors in six for both of us. We'll stay in the West. Lakers, Timberwolves. Who you got?
Yeah, man. I'm seeing a lot of people like think that this is going to be a great series. Well, I mean, like a potential deep series where it can go 7 games potentially. I don't see that. It's going to be entertaining and everything. I just think the Lakers have too much for the Wolves. Wolves like took a step back, obviously, this season after electing to trade Karl-Anthony Towns to the Knicks. Then they put a lot of burden on Ant-Man's shoulders and everything. He's been playing well. A lot of people criticize him and everything. Like a lot of people felt like they gave him a little bit too much. The media and everybody was giving too much praise last season, which I kind of agree to a certain extent. He's not a superstar yet to me. He's a star on the verge, but he's only like, what, 24 years old, I think? 23, 24. So you're, what, 3, 4 years away from your prime? So he's right on schedule. Still a great player. Improved his three-point shooting and everything. With the addition of Luka, Braun and Reeves, 3 playmakers, 3 guys who are good at drawing contact and getting to the free throw line, and then the coaching with JJ Redick and everything. I think they're going to win that series in 6. That's what I see right now.
I'm gonna go with the Lakers in 7. I think it's gonna go the distance.
And I could be
That's
wrong.
another one. Yeah, the only reason I say that's because I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think Ant is a superstar for me, at least.
He's a good guy. He's great. I like him. He's my guy.
Yeah, like I think this is like one of those series where you can't poke that bear. And you could say the same thing about Luka. You can't poke them two going head to head is gonna be straight up NBA superstar, prime time. Like we're not even talking about LeBron at this point. Like we're seeing the Western Conference Finals matchup all over again with those two at the
What's
very
I'm
least.
saying? I saw what Luka did last year with Kyrie to the Wolves. They had no answer for him, and they don't have the personnel to guard him. Like Jaden McDaniels, Alexander Walker, they're too small. Luka's not bothered by length. Again, he should get
Yeah.
somebody with girth to guard him on the perimeter. They had nobody for him. And then of course Rudy Gobert, put him out there. They're gonna exploit that matchup all the time as much as they can. We see
Yeah,
what
and
Luka did
then they're
last
gonna
year in game
and on
two.
top of that, they're gonna want to go. They're gonna want to go small with Nas, and
Nas, yeah.
that takes away. However you want to feel about Rudy Gobert, that's still a defensive presence. Like that's 7'2" standing right there. And you can't like for somebody like Luka and LeBron who like to get into the paint. Now they're gonna really want to go into paint because Nas Reed is not gonna really threaten you in that area. You're gonna feel comfortable. Whereas Rudy Gobert, yeah, you could get that switch and then do your thing with him on the perimeter in some instances if Minnesota plays it better, because I think they kind of mess it up too for him. If you don't put him in that situation, because I don't get like NBA is already jacked up when it comes to switching. These guys all want to switch. It's fucking stupid. That's why Rudy Gobert looks idiotic out there. If you're in a normal circumstance, like they could do what Memphis did last night and have this Edie's tall ass just stand there in the block. Have the perimeter guys switch. Stop getting the freaking center involved in the perimeter game. That's where these guys are effing up. You're losing games because your center's becoming a shooting guard. It's looking stupid. You know they're not going to be able to guard. So if Minnesota's not going to be able to win the series if they can't keep their defensive guys out there, like you mentioned, like Jaden McDaniels, like he has his spurts where he goes off, but then it's only because people don't account for him. They just like, oh, he's just in the dunker spot, like he's just chilling there. Oh, he gets the open corner three, whatever. But after that insanity dries down, now you're back to normal. Now you're gonna have to wait to see if Ant can force the situation. That's what's gonna kill him too. Is that Ant's gonna want to force the situation? He's shooting more threes this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know when it comes to Luka, LeBron, I think those two guys are they're gonna be a tough matchup. They're just not gonna be easy to. The only thing that's gonna hurt the Lakers is injuries because those guys have been hampered throughout the last couple years. But
Yeah,
aside from that, I would have to go with the Lakers too.
and I think LeBron re-aggravated his groin injury, like the last second to last game or last game of the season. So I think that's something to keep an eye on out too for these playoffs.
Well, I'm gonna take that as a fake groin injury. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play any more games. Like, dog, I'm tired. I'm good, guys. Because he posted a video of him working out the other day, so I don't take him seriously. That nigga be lying. Who else we got? Oh yeah, you mentioned Clippers. The Clippers are the fifth seed, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
Nuggets
they're
are the
the fifth
fourth.
seed, and then Denver. I'm gonna go with the Clippers in six because the Malone firing, as much as they want to say this is putting a fire under their butts and the ownership is this and that, it was a bad timing. And then the ownership just came out saying they regret doing it. Once the ownership says they regret something, it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, not Stan Kroenke himself, his son, who's the VP, he came out and said that he regrets or he wished he never did fire Mike Malone and the GM. So both of them. So it looks like it was an impulsive decision of firing. It wasn't some, oh, we knew this was gonna happen. No, no, no. You walked in the office one day with two of them. You said, we're gonna can this situation.
He should have felt bad about firing. He should feel bad about firing Malone, not about Booth. Because when that news broke out that of course Malone got fired, I'm like, hey, they fired him. They need to fire that GM. Then 5 minutes later, oh, Calvin Booth fired too. I'm like, that makes sense because man, what he's done is like malpractice of that organization. How you go to championship and offseason, you lose Bruce Brown, you lose Jeff Green, then the following postseason, then the following offseason, you lose KCP, you don't replace any of those guys. And then instead, you try to elect to go young and play guys like Peyton Watson and Julian Strother, and then you move Christian Brown to the starting lineup, which kind of depletes your bench, and you don't really like try to like replace what made you guys that helped make you guys champions, and you make these moves. You bring in Russell Westbrook, who I love Russ, but at the same time, he just doesn't really fit out there, I think, with that team, and he can't really play in big spots, especially like in the clutch when it's tight and the game's on the line. I'd be nervous having him out on the floor, especially him and Aaron Gordon together when the floor's not really spaced out like that. For a player like Joker's abilities that he has, I think Joker's kind of like LeBron, like where you need like a lot of shooting around him with his passing ability, his ability to see over the defense. You need a shooting, and they Nuggets, I think, like they take the least threes in the NBA. Their bench is just depleted. So I'm right now leaning towards the Clippers, in 7, but I can reserve to change my pick Friday because again, I think that's going to be a close series. So
Yeah, I'm definitely with the Clippers on six, and I'll be honest with you, man. If the Clippers stay healthy, I'm going right back to my pick from last year. I might look at them going all the way. I'm sorry, because the only reason why it didn't happen for them last year was because I didn't know what happened. I don't know what the Kawhi situation was going to be,
mhm.
but he just looked slow. So it just this year that team is stacked, dude. Like that's a good team. We're talking about Zubac might be a freaking all
All
NBA
NBA.
center. You know what I mean? Kawhi is back to Kawhi. Harden had his best all around season, very even including the
Probably like
fact that he
4 or
was
5
actually a
years.
very good. Yeah, he's a much improved defender at 37, 36, 37 years old. That is insane. Like for him
No,
to fully commit to that at the tail end of his career, that's a good. I give him a lot of props, man, because that means you're setting your ego aside and you want to put some more effort. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot for NBA players, especially to do such. You feel me? And then they got what's his name? Bogdanovich from Atlanta.
can't forget about Norman Powell. One of his best,
Norman
probably his
Powell
best season.
should be in the most improved conversation as well. He probably won't be because of the injuries. I think he missed too many games. Yeah, they have a pretty good team, man. Like
And a
they
great coach
decided,
too. They
yeah,
have the coaching advantage right
Tyronn
now.
Lue. Yeah, Tyronn Lue. Yeah, yep. So depending on how it looks, I might steer that way. I might be on some Clippers in 5 type shit. You feel me? So, but either way, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Um, Eastern Conference, Celtics, Orlando Magic. Who you got?
I think it should be Celtics in no more than 6, probably really 5, but it should be no more than 6. I mean, these first round series for the first and second seed in the East, the season of cash has got to buy. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Get a buy, man. I mean, if Orlando was relatively healthy and everything, and they had the season that they should have had, it could be more competitive to me. I just think that they just can't match up with Boston's offense. Even though they play great defense, they can't match the offensive power that the Boston Celtics possess. So I would say Boston in six. Even with somewhat limited Jalen Brown, I think they should beat him in six, no problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Celtics in five. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough five. I don't think it's gonna be some cakewalk like last year when they were cakewalking on everybody. Like they have to absolutely not take Orlando lightly because Orlando, even though they can't really score like that,
Mm-hmm.
they're physical. They're the Young want to quit basketball last night. Like he was like, "I want my ball. I'm going home." Like he pulled one of those moves. Not to say Trey Young and Jason Tatum in the same league or him and Jalen Brown in the same league. I'm saying like it's gonna get frustrating. You know what I'm saying? And then you know how superstars are. They want their call. So you ain't gonna get your call, and you let Orlando get in your head, especially when you don't play that well at home. It's gonna get tough. So for the Celtics, they just have to batten down the hatches and just lock in and focus on the goal in mind because the goal is to do what hasn't been done since the Warriors, and that's to go back to back. And if you want to do that, you got to just focus on the goal. You got to focus on a game at a time and the fact that you have an opportunity at a another championship. Now, if you want to focus on nonsense like, oh, this guy, I'm not getting foul calls and all this, that, and the third, and I want to shoot 10 million trillion threes and not get into the groove of the game, maybe it won't be in five. But I think it should be in five. There should be no reason for these guys to fuck around. They should handle business, especially being that they are the best away team. They are the best away team in the NBA. Now we have Knicks, Detroit. Who you got?
Yeah, that's definitely the best series in the first round of the Eastern Conference. You know, two teams
Yeah.
that who represent cities that are like hard nosed, blue collared type cities. So it's just be like a real grit and grind series. You got a lot of like dog mentalities out there, the Pistons, and of course, though this isn't really a Tom Thibodeau team. I think personality wise for the Knicks. I mean, I guess you could say that because they're Tom Thibodeau team and everything, so it could be a real slugfest. You see how how the Pistons are already trying to block anybody outside of Detroit from buying tickets to the playoff games there. So
Yeah, I see
that's kind
that.
of smart. I think I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I'm just gonna give them respect. I know that they haven't looked they've undefeated. They've kind of like been below, I think, from what they hoped they would be this season. Because when they put that team together, they looked like they were just trying to come up with an answer for the Boston Celtics and were trying to compete for them to be in a level, and that certainly hasn't been the case this season. So I
Yeah.
think that while they have kind of underwhelming in that sense, I think that they are still a good team and they can beat this young, inexperienced Pistons team who is playing well. Great turnaround from last season when they won like 14 games last year total, something like crazy like that. Now they've
Yeah.
turned it around, got to the playoffs. You got Cade, who's in this most improved conversation, which is stupid because he was the first overall pick. Why do we have a first overall pick in the most improved conversation? Like, listen, that should be a rule. If you're a top three pick in your draft, you should be excluded from the most improved player award. Let that go to guys who are like undrafted or who are like
Hmm.
second round players or like mid late first rounders. Like, what are we doing? But anyways, he's in the conversation. Malik Beasley's 6 man of the year conversation as well. So it's going to be a good series. I like Bickerstaff and what he's done with this team and helped turn them around after the disastrous job Monty Williams did. But I think I would go with the Knicks in seven.
So I can see this series going the same way that Cavs Orlando series went last year. But I think I'm gonna go with Pistons in seven.
Wow. So
I,
you
I
got
just I don't know.
you got them winning in Madison Square in a game seven. Wow.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It just doesn't. The Knicks. It just the Knicks when they play teams like Detroit, Indiana, they just don't look right. Or even like they had to beat out Philly just because Philly was hurt last year. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I like the cat edition. I'm not against it whatsoever. I don't think it made. I don't think it. I thought it was gonna make them scarier, but I think the Mikal Bridges acquisition wasn't the right move. Now
Especially
that you
giving
look
up
back at it,
five first round picks. Like,
right? Not the right moves. Now you really. I mean, you know how first round picks are in the NBA. You don't know what the fuck that's gonna end up being, but. still out. I mean, logically speaking, you could have swung those picks for somebody else at this point, or just keep them, or it's tough.
Could have
Like,
used those for like a KD, or if Giannis gets disgruntled or they get eliminated early again, you could have used those
yeah,
some of those picks to get
yeah.
Giannis. So,
Shit, they could have got Luka. The fuck? They
well,
could have. They could have. I mean, that's a similar type of package if you just add another guy. But nonetheless, Brunson, I'm a big fan of Brunson. He took a step back this year only because I guess there's more mouths to feed on that team, and he was hurt also. There's gonna be a conversation to be had about like the whole Tibbs situation. I'm not in the camp of, him tiring out his players. I think, listen, you're a professional basketball player, you're supposed to play. So it is what it is. Like, and if you didn't give them the minutes, they're gonna cry anyway. So what the fuck? What do you want? Mikal Bridges was the only one who said something, but Josh Hart was happy he was playing 48 minutes. He didn't give a fuck. He was like, yeah, keep playing me, coach. Yeah, I don't really get to see these minutes. Keep me playing. But from what I saw recently, actually his guys are surprisingly the more rested players in the league. For whatever it's worth, people thought they weren't, but they have their bench is trash. So one injury, that team's done. You know what I'm saying? One injury, they're done. And you've seen that when Jalen was down, they had freaking, I love, what's his name? What's old boy's name? The backup,
McBride.
McBride.
Yeah,
I like Deuce. I like Deuce McBride. I'm not a big campaign fan. Nope. Nope.
no,
Don't convince me about no campaign. I ain't trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? And then, Mitchell Robinson's not the same. He's done.
always hurt.
He's always hurt. He looks like Kendrick Perkins out there. So it's like it's not happening. So it's like Detroit in 7. Malik Beasley, Aid. You know what I'm saying? Beef Stew. Beef Stew is gonna come into New York. Yo, I can see it happening. He's gonna act a fucking fool while he's in New York. But yeah, yeah, give me the Detroit Pistons on that one. But last but not least, Milwaukee is the fourth seed in their host. No, they're the fourth seed in their host. No, they're the fifth seed. I'm sorry. Indiana's the fourth seed. Doesn't matter. They both back in the same place they were last year, fourth and fifth. And
Yeah,
again, Milwaukee has a one of their stars down again, which I mean, it's not Dame's fault. Your body is your body. You don't know why those things happen, how those things happen. Hopefully he could come back in this series at some point, and it wouldn't mean that he's going to be struggling either because he just has to get back into conditioning, if anything. But with all that said, I'm going to go with Milwaukee, man, in 6. I'm going to do it because you know why? I don't think the Pacers have an answer for Giannis.
who
There's no
does?
fucking way. Exactly. He's the most underrated. This year, he's the most underrated MVP candidate we've had. Joker obviously went off, averaging triple dub. SGA is absolutely gonna win it, in my opinion. He should, but Giannis scoring 30 a game without being a 3-point shooter. Okay.
He's like, yeah, it was like 30, 12, and 6 in the season. It's insane. It's insane, man.
Yeah. The guy is very damn good at basketball. I don't care if he can't dribble as well as your favorite player. He's a tough matchup. I know LeBron was exaggerating about him playing in different generations, but
Oh God.
because this generation of basketball players, they don't know how to back down any 4 or 5. They just know how to face up somebody. They don't know how to back down. They don't know how it feels to be against a Shaquille O'Neal or Akeem Olajuwon. As a matter of fact, Akeem Olajuwon was kind of a different type of breed then too, because he was facing you too.
Yeah, I mean
But he could
his game would transition well to today if he played like Dennis Akeem
oh yeah,
today.
and he was a very good dribbler.
Good passer.
Akeem was underrated, man. That's a very underrated center. People messed up on that idea, like that thought of not putting him in top fives and stuff like that.
He's definitely top five.
But
Top five
yeah,
center of all
to each
time.
his own. To each his own. But yeah, give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in 7.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know about the series. I mean, Giannis, he's kind of like LeBron in a sense, like some of those like LeBron runs where he didn't really have he had like minimal to quote unquote no help around him, but he just put on like these superhero performances, put a team in the back, and you just thought that hey, if he could do this, you got a chance. If you just get yourself team in a position, you got a chance in the series, and that's kind of like what it is with Giannis right now in Milwaukee. But at the same time, that Pacers team is, I think they can be trouble for the Bucks. Bucks are gonna have trouble dealing with them in transition. The youth that
Right.
they have in their team and everything, and then the speed, the pace that they play at, pun intended. That's gonna probably be a problem for the Bucks and everything. So, I don't know. Probably, I can see a world where the Bucks win. I can see a world where the Pacers win. I probably will go with the Pacers winning that series in 6. Because I'm not sure they talk about Dame. They're optimistic Dame can come back at some point during the series, but how is it going to be? How long can it take him to find his rhythm again? Not playing basketball for this
Right.
extended period of
Right.
time and having to work himself back in while in the series. I don't know, man. It sucks for my, but it's like what the third straight year there's been an injury for the Bucks. I mean, you got Giannis last
Crazy.
year, Giannis the year before, Dame last year. It's like, come on, man.
It don't make no sense. It
The
really
team, the
don't.
team,
It
team can't catch a
sucks because
break.
yeah. And guess what? They're gonna still blame Doc Rivers.
That's how it is, man. You see coaches getting fired all the time.
You get hired to get fired, man. That's just what it is.
We seen Coach Bud get fired this season after one season. Like, got a championship
Bruh.
on his resume.
Bruh. With all that being said, before we end the podcast about our end of season awards, who we got winning those awards, how do you feel about all the my question to you is who's considered a good coach in the NBA? I feel like nobody going back to the appreciation thing I was talking about earlier. Nobody talks about yeah, we talk about Coach Spo, Tyronn Lue, who's really a great coach in the NBA? Because I feel like everybody just looks at coaches and they're like when you if I say I'll use Mike Malone. If I said Mike Malone was a great coach, I don't know if anybody would agree with me. You know what I'm saying? They would say Spo, but Spo hasn't won a championship since the LeBron years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like what has he done? You know what I'm saying? Like what makes a coach a great coach in the NBA nowadays?
As long as you can produce, it looks like. I mean, it sucks, man, because like, I mean, coaches are expendable when their teams when they're not meeting the standard that the organization has for them. I mean, I don't think they don't count towards the salary cap too. So that's why you see Matt Ishbia move on from like three different coaches in 3 consecutive years. Moved on from Frank Vogel. Well, who was before? Was it Monty the one before? Then Frank Vogel,
Monty.
and now here we go. It's Coach Bud. So you're paying these guys an X. I think they're getting paid something crazy right now. Like Bud's still getting checks from Milwaukee. Now he's getting checks still from Phoenix, and he gets to just lamp and chill. Maybe he wants to continue to coach and try to go somewhere else, because I'm sure he could be a candidate in some position. But it's crazy,
Yeah,
man. How
I
fast
think
they
when
move
it
for
comes to
coaches.
those, I think when you get fired, there's some stipulations to the buyouts. I think you still have to find some type of employment of sorts. I know they do that in the NFL, but maybe the NBA, I think the NBA is kind of the same. You have to have some type of employment or no, there has to be something in the sort so that it keeps you paid
Yeah.
based on whatever union agreement they have over there with the coaches. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird because it's like to be a great coach in any type of form of basketball, you need to know how to police and organize the grown men that you have, right? And understanding with the talent you have, what's the best rotation, what's the best mix, what's the best philosophy. Now, if you tell me some Coach Bud's philosophy is trash, understandable. But how do you realize a philosophy works if it's only been 1 year? You understand what I mean? Like, especially like Coach Tibbs, people have their say about the minutes he crunches on his players, but then people still will say he's a great coach. But isn't that part of it too? Like, if he's a great coach, then why is he running his players off the court? You know what I'm saying? I had someone tell me, like, if it wasn't for Tibbs, the Celtics '08 team would have won. So no credit to Doc. I'm confused, man. Like, where did it start where we just don't appreciate how a coach like so you trying to tell me because Phil Jackson had Kobe and Jordan, all his and Shaq too, that I should not say that he's a great coach? He had the greatest players of all time. Does that make him a bad coach? I don't think so. I think that makes you a great coach. You have to manage egos. And
Yeah.
those
Deal
are
with
two of the biggest egos ever. Three.
multiple personalities and everything, and yeah, it's a lot. And the man got three
Like this,
three-peats. No matter how many great plays he put in,
yeah.
three-peats is tough.
Yeah. And then there's people who truly believe Steve Kerr's a bad coach or overrated. And I'm sitting there like, what?
Fools.
What kind of who, like that's why I asked that question. Like, who is the same people saying this are either clowning JJ Redick, making jokes about Doc Rivers, don't think Steve Kerr's a worthy coach, he's overrated. Probably looks like Kenny Atkinson like he sucks. What is it? Who is good? Because clearly some guys get fired and they were good too. So what are we talking about? The NBA is a tough not I don't think it's as easy of a job to do as people are making it seem. Oh, you can just plug him in there. LeBron is the player there. Okay, LeBron still losing championships with every other coach too. So what are you talking about? He won one with Tyronn Lue. One with Tyronn Lue. One of them. He didn't win many. You know what I'm saying? He won two with Spo. He didn't win
Yeah.
many. You know what I'm
One
saying? So it's
on
like,
Vogel.
yeah. So it's like you can't just say, oh, you can plug somebody in and they'll win with that guy. No, it's a chemistry thing. It's a vibe. It's a thing that makes sense. The guy that you have to be as a coach, be willing to like. I think that's the one thing with Phil that was so underrated that people don't talk, never really talked about then was not because he was just a Zen master, because he was, but he was not allowing Michael Jordan's ego to fuck up this situation he had here. And he also knew what he needed to do to keep his best players happy. You know what I'm saying? But he also did not like make his other players feel lesser. That's not easy. It's not. You're like a father amongst grown men. You got to figure out the best thing that works. That's why I guess that's why the Missoula situation in Boston works.
Yeah.
He's a player's coach. He's the prime example of a player's coach. He's just telling them motherfuckers go out there and do this shit. But I'm sure he has a philosophy that he inherited from Brad Stevens and Ime for the way they play defense. And I mean, it's easy to. I mean, it's a little bit easier now, easier for him to like coach a talented team like that. That's a hell of a roster, a hell of a starting five. You feel me? Like, but if you can't give Kenny Atkinson his flowers for inheriting the same roster that
Bickerstaff had.
Bickerstaff had and actually made him a number one seed. Like I don't know what people consider. I don't know. It's weird to me. I was thinking about this all week, bro, because I'm sitting there like I don't get those debates, man. Those are weird. Like Steve Kerr's overrated for them things. And he won one like years after. You have one of the great, like, yeah, Mark Jackson had that roster at one point, but he didn't elevate Steph to where he's at now. No, he did not. Steph won MVPs under Steve Kerr, not under Mark Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. To me, it's weird.
I agree. Yes. It's a damn shame.
It's just, I don't know. And plus, franchises are weird too because they're willing to get rid of these dudes without hesitation. They could win. They could have won you a championship last year, and then you're like, you're out of here. Like the Celtics are the only other franchise I think who hasn't fired their head coach after a championship in the Golden State Warriors since 2000. Yeah, since the Toronto championship.
Yeah. You're right.
Every other coach has been fired. And I think those coaches were good for what they were, what it's worth. Like Coach Bud was good for what it's worth. He went through a lot of adversity with that Milwaukee team. They finally got over the hump, and then one bad season afterwards was like, you're out of here. You know what I mean? I don't know. To me, it's weird. And then the debates are just weird afterwards. So, we'll end the podcast with just the awards. I'm gonna throw the names out there. You tell me if you agree or disagree. So we got most improved player. We just talked about that. The three names I got here is Christian Braun, Dyson Daniels, and Cade Cunningham. Who you got?
I think K's gonna win. I hate it, but I think K's gonna win. Yeah, Cade. Former number one overall pick, most
Yeah.
improved player there were. Well, what are we doing? Stupid.
In a more logical world, I would go with Dyson Daniels. But yeah, Cade might end up winning that.
Yeah, I thought I thought Dexter wanted to be eligible for any awards because he missed over 15 games. Am I wrong?
Did he? Did he?
I'm gonna look right now.
I don't think. I don't think he.
Oh no, I think you're right. Yeah, well, he should win it. I don't think he will win it, but I have to pick somebody. I'll pick him, but not freaking Cade Cunningham.
Yeah. With all due respect to Cade, but respectfully, Cade, but nah, that ain't it. Um, Rookie of the Year. I mean, this is a very lackluster award these days because, well, this year at
Yeah,
least, because
you're
the
being
names are
generous.
not as attractive. Yeah, the names are not as attractive to the Jalen Wells and Ricochet.
I mean,
It's Castle.
yeah, that's Castle. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I think he benefit from playing in that system with Wembenyama. Weak draft, probably one of the most lackluster drafts of recent years. So by default, Castle. But I don't feel good.
yeah,
I just like I gotta pick somebody. He's like, you gotta pick somebody. Who are you gonna pick? Pick him.
exactly. And it could have been like I think we talked about it before. It would have been Jared McCain if he didn't get
Oh
hurt
yeah, would have
because
been McCain.
he actually played. He was actually playing lights out. I think the whole world would have been kind of annoyed seeing him doing dances and shit still. He didn't win. Cause he be doing his little TikTok dances. People would have been like losing their mind. We could
What's up
agree.
there?
We could agree. 6 Man of the Year is going to be Payne Pritchard. Malik Beasley and Ty Jerome were in that list.
I probably pick Malik Beasley, but I understand why Pritchard would get it. But I get it. But I'll probably go Malik Beasley because I feel like they
Yeah,
need his scoring more than they need Pritchard's, and they have Pritchard has so many weapons around him. It's a lot easier. No, not knock him, but I mean, Malik Beasley has to score like 16 points a game for them to win. I think he's the second leading scorer on the team, whereas Pritchard is just
yeah,
like falling into the system. Just shoot, you go hoop, doing his thing. Probably gonna be Pritchard's gonna win though.
yeah. Malik Beasley would have been my pick if I didn't, if Pritchard wasn't really. He was going lights out for at one point, and then Beasley kind of cooled off a little bit, and Pritchard started ascending again. So it's gonna go to Pritchard, of course. Atkinson, Udoka, and Bickerstaff for Coach of the Year. It's going to be Atkinson, in my opinion,
I think he's gonna
if I'm
win it.
betting on it.
But I can see Ime winning it. And you can make a great case for him taking that young Rockets squad to the second
Yeah,
place in the West.
Ime should have definitely got more consideration for it
Change
for
the whole
sure.
culture for that franchise. And that could probably be an attractive spot for future free agents or a disgruntled superstar who wants to look for a new change of scenery.
You talking about Kevin Durant?
Yeah, one of them.
NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond, Lou Dort, Evan Mobley. I would have gone with Evan Mobley, but it's looking like Draymond's going to be the favorite and most likely to win.
It's
So,
disgusting.
superstars are going to always get their love. It is
All
what
because
it is.
of his campaign on his podcast. I mean, we all know Victor would have won this award if he didn't have his medical issue and
Oh,
everything.
100%.
So
100%.
it's
And I
like,
think
okay, who are we
I
gonna
think the
pick?
Ji- and I think the Jimmy Butler effect kind of played a part here
Yeah,
as well.
I
Having
mean,
Jimmy on that team helps.
I would pick Lou Dort, man. What I see him do for the Thunder, best defense in the league, one of the most historic defenses performances by a team in a season.
Yeah, that's true.
Always
I
taking the
agree.
hardest assignments every night. Um, I see him do Jalen Brown, James Harden, making it difficult for guys, like taking them out. I think there was like a month and a half stretch where nobody scored 30 points on a Thunder on the Thunder in a game. I mean, he's like the head of that
That's
defense. So
crazy.
yeah, so
Wow.
I mean,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I think it was like from February to March, something like that. Nobody scored 30 points on the Thunder when they played these teams in that span.
Eesh. Goddamn. The last two clutch. I don't really know why this is an award, but NBA Clutch Player of the Year: Jalen Brunson, Joker, and Edwards. Most
It's probably
likely,
going
I
to
would
be,
say it's gonna go to Joker because he's gonna lose out on that MVP. They're gonna have to give him. They're gonna say, "Here, have some."
yeah, it might be Joker considering everything that he's had on his shoulders this season and being like,
And that 60 point triple dub too. Even though it was in the loss, it still was kind of clutch because they needed that. And actually, they would have. The game was won if Russ didn't bum that freaking layup and foul the guy at the 3 point line. Oh my God. Yeah. And last but not least, NBA Most Valuable Player, Shea Gilgeous, Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen, Jason Tatum, and LeBron James. I got SGA on this one. Joker, I think, dude, it's gonna be much closer than we think.
yeah.
Joker's gonna get a lot of love on this one.
But yeah, I'm right with you. I think it should be SGA. I mean, he's the youngest team
Yeah,
ever to win
you've been saying
60.
HGA since day one.
He was my pick to win the award, and the season started. It was between him and Luka. I was like, you know what, SGA's gonna win it because I'm not sure Luka's gonna win enough games to be like have like real consideration. I knew the Thunder were gonna be good when the Thunder got Caruso and the offseason traded him for Giddey, signed Hartenstein. I'm like, oh, they're going to the finals, no question about it. So I knew that they're going to be good. I didn't know they'd be this good, this historic, and Shea's the best player on the team. And I get mad at people like to disrespect them when they talk about like, I get it, you love Joker, he has a triple double, but Shea's having one of the most historic seasons for a guard ever. Like he's up there with the likes like Mike, Steph in 2016. Like he's having that type of season, like 30 points a game, 50% from the field, had the most 30,
Hmm.
40, 50-point games in the season. Like, dog, like what are we doing? Like this dude's nice. So I would go with
Right.
SGA to win this. I thought he should have won it last year. I mean, if Joker, if he won it last year, Joker could have won it this year, and there would be no problem. He should have got it last
Right.
year.
I know.
They gave it Joker. You cannot tell me, and let's not act like wins doesn't matter. Like they're like what, like 18 games better than Nuggets. I'm just saying.
Exactly. So it would be a crime if they did that to SGA and just give it a Joker. Yeah, he's gonna win it. There's no way Joker does win this, but he will be a very close second, like extremely close. It's not a unanimous decision here.
Oh no, it can't be unanimous.
but Giannis is definitely deserving of that third spot. You know, Jason Tatum in any other year probably would win it, but until Giannis, Joker start to regress, and then the old heads like KD, Braun, you name it, decide I'm gonna hang it up, maybe then. But
Yeah,
then you're gonna see Ant coming up and Doncic's back in that list. So Jason Tatum just got to be out of worldly for consideration, unfortunately. So for those who want that, who want to carry on that campaign for him, it's gonna be a few years.
might be.
Because American players do not take, other than LeBron James, not a lot of American players are that relevant.
Yeah, we have had an American
American
MVP
basketball
since
players.
since Harden in 2018. The last time an American won the MVP was Harden.
Really? Oh, it wasn't Curry?
Harden won it. Harden won in 2018. Curry won in 2016.
Yeah, Curry went back to back, then it was Harden.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Well,
Hey
what can you do? It's a world game.
man.
Well, we'll chop it up again probably after the first round is up, or unless there's some breaking news that happens, because I'm sure there will be. But nonetheless, thank you for taking the time. And to those who are watching, listening, thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the Sports Talk with DesPain podcast. But until next time, oh yeah, do me a favor, make sure you check out my man's podcast. Go on his Instagram. Make sure you sign him up for your photography and anything photography related for this coming summer, since everybody wants to be outside because this weather's been trash. But yeah, do me a favor and support my brother here. But till next time, salute y'all.